Hey guys, it's a girl Cece and I'm back again today with another interesting video. Trust me, you don't want to miss today's video. I trust you guys are having fun today. Thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. So let's talk about relationship today. So this lady in this video asked women who are in a healthy relationship to share their stories, talk about it, like what they are doing. Because according to her, she's been seeing multiple videos on TikTok, women sharing horrible stories about their relationship, which scares her and probably scares some other women. Guys, this is an interesting video. I don't want you to miss it. Like, I am glued here, okay? Because I want to hear these stories. I want to know what they're doing. I'm going to learn a lot today. And of course, I'm going to share my own story. So stay glued and let's see this video. Don't forget, I have some stitches coming up next. Let's check this video out.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it? I'm stuck in the algorithm on TikTok where it's just a bunch of horror stories from women and men with bad behavior, and many of my relationships reflect that dynamic too. But I believe in love, and I want love still, and I know I'm not alone. I know how important it is when you're trying to attract something new into your life to find examples of other people who have that thing. And so this is my attempt to find examples and to get some healing. And I think it would be healing for a lot of other women too, who are still looking for love in spite of all that they've been through. So anything that you're comfortable sharing would be great, from how you met to what you love about them to what the dynamic of your relationship is like, what they do for you, what you do together, if you've ever had a big argument and how you've gotten through it, like anything that you want to share. And if you think your story is too boring to share, you're probably exactly who we need to be hearing from. Just stitch this video, tag me in it, and I'll be sure to repost it on my page too.
Now, when I tell you I love this video, I love the topic, I kid you not. Now, lately, I have been seeing multiple videos as well, horrible stories I hear, literally every day about relationship, not working out. And I keep asking, what is going on? Now, the interesting thing about this video, which I am really, keen to hear the stories, like, couple, they do have misunderstanding. Now, how do you settle it? How do you do yours? I just want to learn, because some people, when they are, into an argument with their partner, like, it doesn't go down well. Okay. I mean, let's just, hear the stories. Like, I am really keen to hear their stories. So let's check the stitches out.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it? I'm stuck in the algorithm.
Brittany, do not let this app make you not believe in love. Trust me, okay? I'm married, I have 2 beautiful kids, and I love it here, okay? I'm just gonna give you a little story time, okay? When I was in college, I had my first serious relationship, and honestly, I thought I was head over heels in love, okay? It was horrible. He was verbally abusive, mentally abusive. I couldn't have friends that I was literally friends with for like 15 years. Homeboy was crazy. And what's crazier is that he ended up marrying the girl that he told me never to worry about. Crazy. And you know what? At first, I didn't know what I was going to do after that. I really did not. And I was literally lost. I moved back home. I had nothing to do. I worked at the mall. I was like lost, okay? And then I decided, I took a year off of life, and I decided to just casually date for a whole year. I went to every restaurant in the city of Chicago. I went to every excursion or whatever I wanted to do, because I only went on first dates for a whole year, because I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know anything. So I just would go on first dates to see like what I liked, what I didn't like, and who I liked and what I didn't like, and what mannerisms I liked and what I didn't like, and a lot of learning and growing. And whenever my friends ask me stuff like that, like about marriage and like anything pertaining to like my relationship, I'm just like, I had to do work on me first. And then when I met my husband, I stood him up 3 times. I was over it. I was dating. I was like, I was in my late 20s. I was like, I'm just going to be the fine, cool auntie. Like, I was set on that life, okay? And then I met my husband, and honestly, he is the best human on the planet Earth. Like, I was just telling, like, my coworkers, like, earlier this week, like, how my husband literally goes to restaurants on my birthday and drops off my gifts, and, like, all the workers are, like, so giddy, and they literally can't hold their excitement when we get there, and, like, it's always obvious, and I know he does it every year, and, like, it's the cutest thing, and, like, and the best part, I get to be myself. He does not judge me. I'm crazy. I'm fun. I'm silly. I be in here doing all kind of stuff. And you know what else? He supports all my dreams. All of them. Like, I said one day, like, I want to, like, make stuff with a Cricut. Do you know that year for my birthday, he bought me a Cricut? I say, I want a bread machine. My mom buys me a bread machine. I have been making bread. Do you know who is my biggest cheerleader? My husband. He will tell anybody about this TikTok. He will tell anybody about this TikTok. My wife? Oh, my wife does this. My wife does that. I literally am studying to be a breastfeeding lactation consultant. Right now, I'm just I'm just a lactation counselor. But I love to help moms breastfeed. I have a small business that I do not promote at all because I just want to make sure that, like, I don't know, I have all of my credentials, but I do help my family and friends as much as I can, and I do help people in my community. Yeah, so I don't talk about that much, but my husband tells it to everyone. If you're a new mom, I'm sure my husband told you that I teach people how to breastfeed. If you like to bake or if you like to cook, like, my husband told you about me. I know he did. Because he always does. And this is your story on not giving up on love. I gotta go. I gotta get my bread out the bread machine. Bye.
Now, this is it, okay? I love the part she said her husband, allowed her to do her, okay? Just be you, do you, okay? Because I know there are some men, after marrying you, they would want to, like, change you, like, just want you to be someone else. And trust me, you're gonna struggle. This is exactly me, because I am not really, a quiet person. I am really a mad person. Like, I love doing, things like being creative, just, you know what I mean? And my husband supports me, okay? He supports me, in everything. And, I I am grateful. Don't worry, I'm gonna share my story, but let's continue with the stitches.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk?
So let me start off by saying that I am 28 years old and I am just now, for the first time in my life, in a real, serious, healthy, committed adult relationship. And trust me, I've dated a lot of guys, but like she says in that video, they just always end up in horror stories. There's so many games involved in dating, and it could be really discouraging when you believe wholeheartedly in love and you really want love for yourself. There was always just so much disappointment involved in my experiences that it just became part of my nature to assume that that's always going to happen and I'm always going to be let down by guys. So by the time that I met my boyfriend, it was just part of my thought process and my mindset. So say that he would go MIA for a couple of hours if he didn't answer my text because he was quite literally just busy at work. I figured he's ghosting me. I'll never hear from him again. If we had plans that night, I would say, oh, I guess he's bailing. That's just what they all do. But much to my surprise, he just always proved my thoughts wrong. And pretty early on in seeing him, my brain started to just like rewire. And I started to be able to tell myself like, but he's never given you a reason to doubt him. Trust his actions. Don't think about what has happened in the past. Anytime that like I started to think negatively, I was like, but he's never given you a reason to feel this way. So just follow that. Just trust that. And since then, since day one, he has never canceled a plan, changed a plan. Quite frankly, he's never even been late to pick me up. He's always been on time, even when we lived basically an hour away from each other. And like she says in that original video, some people will probably think that their relationship is too boring to talk about, but those are probably the most important stories to share. She's absolutely right, because a lot of people mistake it as being bored when the reality is you're just at peace. There's just no confusion, there's no games, there's no drama. So that might look like boringness. So while there is so much that I could share, so much that I love about him and our relationship, I think that point was the most important one. That now at 28 years old, I finally met someone and found someone who never let me be confused. Just at peace.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it?
Hi, girl in a healthy relationship here. The previous relationships I have been in were extremely unhealthy, toxic, tumultuous, and this relationship that I am in currently, we've been dating for over 3 years now, is the most calm and peaceful I've ever been. When I actually first started this relationship, I thought something was wrong because things were too calm, but it's because I was used to chaos all the time. I was used to the arguing, the screaming, the lying, all of it. And so it was extremely refreshing but also scary walking into a new relationship with somebody that was pretty emotionally stable. We don't get into fights or screaming matches, raise our voice at each other, ever call each other names. The most we do is maybe we'll bicker here and there, and then we'll try to take some time to calm down and make sure that we're speaking from a place of love and empathy instead of trying to attack the other person. I was really lucky. I met my current boyfriend through Hinge, and he was the only person that I went on a date with from Hinge, and we just ended up hitting it off. At the beginning of the relationship, I was not interested in having a true romantic relationship, so we were just seeing each other, having fun, seeing where it goes. But ultimately, the reason why I fell for him was his ability to just empathize and be genuine and hold space for me. I wanted to be in a relationship where I could be myself, where I could grow, I could be independent and share my life with somebody. And that's somebody that I found, luckily. We have a very, I would say, golden retriever boyfriend, black cat girlfriend energy. In a party setting, he is very outgoing and friendly and kind and just so warm. But deep down, he's an introvert, whereas I'm kind of a black cat on the outside. I don't really... I wouldn't say I don't like to talk to people, but I'm very hot and cold with people. But when when people get to know me, or when I'm with my best friends, I'm super warm and just open. So I feel like we mesh really well in that way. One thing that he is amazing at is acts of service, which I love. For example, before we go to bed, he has my water filled already, bed is all cozy, humidifier is refilled and set on, puppy is taken out, all of that, and that's an incredible trait that I love about him. It is very difficult when you have been in continuously really just emotionally draining relationships, and you go into one that is new and you're like, whoa, this is so different, because it feels so foreign to you and your body, because your body is used to that chaos. But I am forever grateful that I found him on Hinge. Honestly, I don't know what would have happened if I didn't, because we didn't have any mutuals or anything. And it's crazy because I'm literally here now on vacation with my partner and my family, which I never thought I would be able to do in a million years. And it's really special.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it?
I was an over-giver and an under-receiver in all of my previous relationships. I was codependent, basically. And that is the biggest difference I see in my previous unhealthy relationships versus my healthy relationship. I'm with someone who truly matches my energy. When I met my ex, I wrote poetry, and I often did poetry readings around town. I even published 2 poetry books and would travel to have poetry readings. And at some point, he stopped coming to them with me. I asked him, why don't you come to my poetry readings anymore? And he said to me at that time, I never thought you'd keep doing them. Never thought that I would keep doing the thing that I love doing. So you're just gonna stop supporting me? My husband now, on the other hand, is my biggest fan. He shows up for everything. He tells me he would never miss it. I do a lot of social media content, and he watches it all across multiple platforms because that man is proud of me. I give, he gives. It's just an endless cycle of giving, and it feels so great.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it?
My man, he love me. I am definitely in a healthy relationship with a black man. He has single-handedly destroyed every thought I had about men. If I call him, he's answering. It's no such thing as a second ring. Last year, when I developed like some of the worst anxiety, he was there every step of the way. It doesn't matter if he was at work. It doesn't matter if he was with his family. He's running to me. And cheating, I got the phone codes. I got the codes to his iPad. I got the codes to his laptop. I got the codes to his desktop. He even pays the rent. The only thing he wants from me is to develop my company and to sit in my feminine energy, and I accept it. He's always willing to learn. He always is willing to communicate, and I'm just so grateful. And I want y'all to stop lying about these black men, because there are good ones.
Honestly, guys, love is a beautiful thing. What literally makes it bad, like people say love doesn't exist, probably you met the wrong person. I'm just saying. For me, love is a beautiful thing if you are, piloting the relationship with the right person.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it?
July 2019, we swipe right on Bumble. 3 weeks later, he tells me that he loves me. A month later, I meet his niece and his sister. 4 months later, he moves me out of my crappy apartment into his luxury high-rise. About 2 years later, he buys us a house. He just buys us a house. A little shortly after that, he flies his family from Buffalo, New York to meet my family in Portland, Oregon. He flies out 5 members of his family to meet mine. A few months after that, he proposes to me in front of my close friends and family. And this past December, he flew his family out to Nigeria, to the village where my family is from, so we can have our traditional wedding. And next year, we're gonna have our white wedding. Ladies, if he wants to, he will. This house that we're in, he bought for us. I had nothing to do with it. He just buys us a house because he says I deserve it. We're planning our second wedding and we're talking baby names. It's literally as easy as I'm explaining it is how easy it has been. He's never put any pressure on me and he's led the whole way. So honestly, if it's not as easy as I described it, it's not really worth it. I haven't had to struggle at all. And I'm an attorney. I'm somebody who could be fine by themselves, but for whatever reason, he saw the value in me and acted accordingly. So not all men are trash. I'm Nigerian. My husband is from South Sudan. Love knows no country, no border. If he wants to, he will.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it?
Every single time my boyfriend gets triggered by me, right? Or I bring up uncomfortable things, he goes, whew, that just triggered me. I'm gonna go take some time and I'm gonna go process what just got up in me, and I'll be back and I'll share with you when I'm back. And he goes and he spends time going into whatever just got brought up in him. And when he comes back, he goes, okay, let me share what I just moved through. And he says, you brought up a mom wound and had nothing to do with you. And I went into it, and then me and my inner child, we processed it together. And now I'm here to share with you. And thank you for bringing up that part of me that was in my blind spot. I didn't know that was in there. That's what it means to be in a healthy relationship with a man. When he's running a lust program, when he feels himself looking at a woman, he immediately drops into his heart space and he loves that low vibration of lust or misogyny or toxic masculinity, whatever it is. He goes in and he alchemizes that because he doesn't want to show up as a toxic masculine, narcissistic, misogynistic man in this world. He takes divine responsibility over himself. He never blames me for anything. When he's triggered by me, he takes care of it, and then he shares with me, and then we can connect in that beautiful, beautiful way. There will be men in the coming years who will be just like my boyfriend, who take divine responsibility over themselves, who want to be a better man, not only as a partner to you, but for himself and in turn the world. That's a healthy relationship.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it? I'm stuck in the algorithm.
Not only am I in a healthy relationship with a man, I'm in a healthy relationship with a Black, attractive, high-earning man. I think that's important to note because a lot of Black women, especially who want and to desire to marry a Black man, feel like they might have to settle. And no, you don't. I have been with Jonathan 6 years. We got married 3 months ago. And when I tell you that I have never once since we've been together had to worry about who I was going to get with him. If I had to give him a nickname, I would call him Mr. Follow Through. Since the very beginning, Jonathan has been what he's talking about, okay? I remember when we first started dating, we would plan dates on like a Sunday, and like almost every day leading up into the Friday date, I would be like, are we still going? Like, are you still excited? And finally one day he sat me down and he was like, stop asking me that, because if I say that I'm going to do something, it's going to get done. And he wasn't lying. The original creator also suggested to talk about your life with your partner. And that's such an interesting thing because so many people have asked us, how has our life changed since we got married? And honestly, it hasn't changed that much. And that's because I knew exactly what to expect when I married Jonathan. I think something that social media like puts in our heads is that every day has to be exciting. Every day has to be this grand gesture or whatever the case may be. And honestly, what I find so joyful about being with Jonathan is that the everyday things are some of the things I enjoyed the most. Like today we were on a walk, we walked to go get coffee, and Jonathan looked at me and said, I'm so happy with you. And that is what we do very often with each other. We tell each other in real time, no matter what small task it is or what small thing we're doing, I'm having a good time with you. Like, this is fun for me. And so that we understand that our day-to-day life is enjoyable and we love doing it with each other. So I know we can get on these apps and we feel like, damn, everybody complaining. Please know that there are people out there who probably are just silent because they're just having a good time walking down the street. Let me know if you want to hear more about my boo because I love him. And also, I'm going to throw a picture in the end because we just got married and why not? Bye!
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it?
With my husband for 17 years, and whenever I get this question of what's your secret to a healthy relationship, it's really simple. Your relationship should feel like, and in every sense, be a partnership. For example, I make more money than my husband does. I will always make more money than he does. I'm more career oriented than he is, and I have a much more demanding career than he does. So naturally, he takes care of pretty much everything in the home. It's become much more formalized since we bought a home together, but ever since we started living together in college, like, that was the agreement. Cleaning, yard work, just like little stuff like taking out the trash and taking it out to the curb every Friday. We're DIY renovating our home right now, and he takes care of all of the big stuff because why? I don't have time to, and he does. I don't have to tell him to do these things. I don't have to ask, I don't have to beg. It's not like me reminding him because I'm not his mom, I'm not his caretaker, I'm his partner. And like any partnership, people should be pulling their equal and equitable weight, and that's what a partner should do. It is the most immature thing in the world to me when I see men online or friends of mine who have boyfriends, husbands, whatever, who feign confusion. Nothing screams immaturity more to me than seeing a man who is feigning confusion on why their girlfriend, wife, spouse, whatever, being frustrated with them because they're not being a partner to them. The other aspect of partnership is that it should never feel like work, but you should be putting in the work. What I mean by that is that Matt and I have certainly had difficult times in our relationship, times that felt like we needed to put in the work to make ourselves better, to make our relationship better, but it never felt like work itself. As partners come together and they're working towards a common goal. And if one person or both people are not working towards that common goal of the partnership, it's gonna feel like work to one or both of you.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video?
My husband and I met at a pageant that I was competing in, and he was working as one of the models to walk the girls down. There was about 50 other girls competing for this pageant, and there were only 9 male models to walk them down, so he was supposed to walk me down, and then go back and get another girl and walk her down. There's a million things I want to say, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to focus on one important thing, and that is consistency. This photo was taken less than 5 minutes after my husband met me. And within that 5 minutes, this man had already let his interest in me be known, and this photo was taken off guard. From the moment my husband met me, I have never questioned that this man is extremely into me. From the second he talked to me, I had no question that this man was feeling me. He was clear in communicating that he's interested in me. He was clear in communicating that he thinks I'm absolutely beautiful. He was clear in communicating that he wants to get to know me. Not only did he communicate those things, he proceeded to act on it. While we're competing at the pageant, we've been there for a very long time. It was getting late, about 11 p.m. So my husband was like, well, the guy I just met at the time, are you hungry? You must be hungry. You've been here all day. I said, yeah, I'm feeling kind of hungry. He was like, why don't we just run off real quick, get something to eat so that you're not starving while you wait to hear that you won. So we head off to the nearest restaurant, which at the time was Subway. I told him I don't like ordering food for myself because I never like what I order. Asked me why. I told him it's probably a language barrier since English is not my first language and I'm still getting to know American food. I just never like what I order, so I shy away from ordering any of the food. And ordered 2 different sandwiches and some Subway cookies. I didn't like mine, so he gave me his and I ended up liking the one he ordered. Until today, I never have to order food at the restaurant. My husband has a list of all the food I like. Whenever we go out, or even if we're not out together, he'll ask me, are you in the mood for seafood or steak? I'll just tell him seafood, and he will order me something I'm going to love because he has a list of all the foods that I like. Back to the pageant, I won, missed my crowning, blah, 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 neither here nor there. Our first date, my husband took me to an African restaurant and he took me to the Monument in Washington, D.C. because he heard me say during our conversation that first night we met that I miss Congolese food. I don't get to eat it that often since I'm living in college dorms, and I am absolutely obsessed with politics and scandal. So he curated a date, an all-day date, specific to what I told him. From the moment we met, I have never had to question my husband's integrity. I have never had to question his honesty because when he says something, he means it. I am Congolese, my husband is American. So when I first told him about my culture, including that dowry, he was definitely shocked about having to pay to marry me. But the one thing he constantly said in the process of going through talking to my parents, getting a prize, was, I'm going to do whatever it takes to marry you because you are it. You are my dream girl. You are the woman I want to be with for the rest of my life. And he did. And he did. We currently have 4 kids together, and my husband has made it his job to make sure I am mentally, physically, and emotionally healthy throughout my entire postpartum journey. One of my biggest fears of becoming a mom was losing myself in this journey called motherhood, and he knew that. So he made sure that does not happen to me by making sure I still have a life outside of motherhood. My husband is the type to come home from work at 5 p.m. after work, take over with the kids so that I can have time to do things for myself. He is the type to book me surprise staycation away from the family so that I can go sit in a hotel, read my book. He'll stop by at night to do what he gotta do and go back home to his kids. I stopped at my husband's office once and the people who worked there didn't know who I was yet, and they were literally sitting there chit-chatting about how boss man can't stop talking about his wife. My husband is a my wife type of guy. He will brag about his family to anybody that will listen. If I tell him I have a goal, not only will he support the goal, but he will find a way to make it happen. It's been 10 years and 4 kids later, and I still get surprise date nights. I still get flowers delivered. I still get random gifts because he's thinking of me. I am a heavy coffee drinker, and no matter what time my husband wakes up in the morning, he will make sure that I get my coffee. Sometimes that means he has to wake up literally an hour earlier to go pick up my coffee from my favorite coffee shop, but I will wake up with my coffee ready for me. His generosity, his kindness, his love has only gotten more, and now I get to see it translate through his fatherhood and through my kids. His consistency in prioritizing his family and me translates in the way that he spends time with us. This all shows up in the things that he prioritizes, like sitting together on a Sunday to go over our kids' lesson plan, to go over all of our marriage goals, to do a quick little check-in together. It's been 10 years and this man has not stopped looking at me like I walk on the moon. When I say consistency, this is what I mean. This man still looks at me like I am the best thing he's seen and had since sliced bread. Anyways, let me go get ready for a quick surprise date that I was just told I am going on.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it?
Oh my gosh, I would love to. I would love to talk about it. I have been married for just over 20 years. I've been with my husband for 28 years. We were high school sweethearts. That is our love story in a nutshell. In 28 years, we've had a lot of life together, good and bad, beautiful and ugly. And through it all, we have continued to choose one another above all else. And it has paid off. It has created a life and a relationship where we are secure and confident in our love for one another. I genuinely like my husband and he genuinely likes me. In fact, last night we had a very productive discussion about feeling like we weren't connected like we would like to be. We have 3 kids. He runs a busy, very demanding business. We are dealing with some family dynamics issues that are complicating life and are requiring a lot of attention and energy. And it has led to a disconnect a little bit, but for us, we just don't have the time to give to each other right now. So we made it a priority. We planned a little getaway trip next month. We gotta wait a little while, but that's real life. And the fact that there's nobody I would rather escape a few days into adventure with than my husband, and he feels the same way about me. Love is real. True love is real. It doesn't look the same for everybody. I mean, my love story is not going to be the same as somebody else's, and that's okay. Love stories should be written in every font imaginable, and I hope you find yours. It's out there. It's real. I will die on the hill that says love is real, and I'm living proof. Mwah.
Wow. So the stitches are many. So I'm going to do a part 2. So the video you're going to see next is the part 2 of this video. Of course, I'm going to bring to you guys loads of stitches, women sharing their stories. They are all interesting. So I don't want this video to be too long. I don't know how many minutes it's going to be, but I promise I'm going to share my story, okay, my little story with you guys in the next video. I'm sorry, but yeah, I took some screenshots of comments so you guys can see what other people said, about this video in her comment section. Now, beside me are some of these comments. Please pause to read if you want to. Now, for me, I would say I found the right person. My husband is amazing. Like, he does things for me without even me asking. Okay, and it's just so sweet seeing your man, doing those things that you basically you really want to do them, but then, he would just, quickly, as if he read my mind, he would just do it. I mean, it makes me feel, feel good and, just smile. I'll be like, oh, he's just so sweet. So yeah, I'm gonna share my little story with you guys in my next video. Again, please bear with me and don't forget to like this video, comment, share, and subscribe. Come back for another juicy, interesting video, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you guys think about this topic, the stitches, the stories that they shared? Let me know your take. How is it working for you? I mean, how are you doing it? Let us know in the comments, and thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like again, comment, and share. Come back for another video again, and of course, I'm gonna see you all in my next one. Y'all stay blessed. I love you. Bye.